Yo, what is up guys, and welcome back to McAD's Entertainment. I'm your host as always, Adam McGahee. Just want to say thank you all again for helping blow this channel up to the moon and beyond. We have officially broken 6,400 subscribers, which is something I did not expect to happen this quickly. I love making these videos, and your constant comments and support truly motivate me to keep going. You all are the true heroes. So I know we have been going non-stop with the gory goodness of our coverage of the Marvel Zombies line of comics, but we are taking a quick pit stop across universes into the dark land of DC. I recently watched the Dark Knight Returns animated movie for like the 20th time, which of course got me once again reading the famed comic. Upon reading, I was looking into more of the stories that are within the Dark Knight Returns universe, and man, some of them are absolutely wild. Looking at you, All-Star Batman. One comic that I had no idea even existed within that universe until recently was shockingly Batman vs. Spawn. Yes, the Dark Knight once had a run-in with our favorite hero from hell, and it's as crazy as you would expect it to be. The story is a bit of a lengthy one, so without further ado, grab some drive-thru, sit back, relax, and enjoy the full bloody story of Batman vs. Spawn. What is it? Batman Spawn is a one-shot comic written by Frank Miller and illustrated by Todd McFarlane back in 1994. It takes place on Earth 31, which is the same universe as Batman Year One and The Dark Knight Returns. The story begins in Gotham City at the nearby docks, where we see a mortally wounded Batman who just took on a whole gang of thugs as he was conducting some sort of investigation. It is here when he comes across a warehouse full of high-tech Soviet machinery and weapons that was basically powerful enough to level half the city. He then even comes across a pair of robotic gauntlets. Just before he could take a closer look, the poor dude is attacked by a giant mech-like creature who sends him flying into a pile of nearby boxes. Bleeding pretty bad from the surprise attack, Batman knows this thing will kill him easily without hesitation, so he equips the cool power glove he just found and proceeds to Falcon Punch the robot right in the face. Good job, Bats. You made good old Captain Falcon proud. After attacking the mech, it is revealed that under its armored exterior was actually a human face. Initially believing the man to be operating the robot, Batman tears away the metal to get to him, only for the face to start screaming, claiming he had no idea who he was or what was going on. As he tore the robotic flesh open, it is revealed that the man, well, what was left of him anyway, was actually a disembodied head and was not controlling the robot at all. As Batman ripped the head from its chrome core, a massive explosion rang out and the head screams and dies. It is shortly after this where we cut to a TV broadcast of a woman named Dr. Margaret Love, who was the head of a company called Heal the World and was getting a reward for all her humanitarian work. Aw, she seems so nice. She's providing food and shelter and lives to the homeless. She's totally not evil, right? We then cut back to the Batcave, where Bruce is patched up from his injuries and studies the decapitated dead head from the robot he had encountered earlier. He is able to identify the body as that of Louis Bacchus, who was a homeless man from Manhattan. Confused as to how a Manhattan homeless man found his way inside a Soviet robot in the Gotham docks, Batman has Alfred put the freshly brewed tea he had just made on hold as he plots a trip to good old New York. Upon arrival, Batman goes full stalker mode, where he begins spying on the city homeless to see if he could get any details on the man's head found in the Soviet robot. After hearing the typical conversations of city drunks, Batman does pick up a clue from a group of men talking about a fellow homeless man named Al who apparently had magical powers. Magical Al just happened to be Al Simmons, aka Spawn, you know, everyone's favorite hero from hell, who is also here investigating the disappearances of several of his friends. As he navigated the city, our boy Spawn came across a pair of local bullies who found a man passed out drunk, doused him in gasoline, and prepared to light him on fire. Man, I thought regular bullies were bad, giving you like a wedgie or slamming you in a locker or something like that. I'd honestly much rather take a wedgie instead of being set on fire. As the morons lit their match, the pair was in horror as the flames magically came towards them instead of their victim. As they ran from the blaze, they then ran smack into Spawn, who had no patience for such evil deeds, and legit sent the men straight to hell. As the dudes screamed their way to eternal torment, this then caught the attention of Batman, who just happened to be nearby. Confronting Magic Al, the Dark Knight then attacked the fellow hero, believing him to be a cold-blooded murderer. Yeah, maybe hot-blooded. Nothing cold about hell, folks. The Dark Avengers then battled it out in a nearby alley, both exchanging some pretty sweet hits in on each other. Knowing this dude could end him at any moment, Batman then reached into his good old utility belt and grabbed several nerve gas pellets, powerful enough to knock out an entire mob, and whipped it right at Spawn, who breathed in its rather disgusting fumes. As the hellish hero nearly passed out from the gas, he then activates a cheat code of his own, where he uses his magic to strengthen himself and beats the snot out of Batman. Winning round 1 of their fight, Spawn tells the Dark Knight not to come back and that this was his turf, only for Batman to tell him that he would be back and that he let him off easy. Spawn says that he showed Batman who was boss, only for him to immediately puke from inhaling all of Batman's gas, and for the Dark Knight's knees to give out, where he blacks out not far away. I feel Spawn on this one, guys. As a kid, I jumped right into a path of one of those smoke bombs people throw on the 4th of July, and I inhaled all that gas, and I also puked. It's not pleasant, guys. Later on, Spawn goes on to investigate one of the supposed homeless shelters ran by Margaret Love. As he explores further into the facility, it turns out that they were serving way more than just food, as he finds himself in a high-tech lab. Before he could snoop any further, he is then attacked by a mech similar to the one Batman encountered before. He uses his power to wreck the thing, and just like Batman, he discovers a severed head inside, except this one is of his missing friend Chuck. A monitor then activates a broadcast where it reveals Margaret Love, the super nice lady behind those rehabilitation centers, was actually a crazy sadistic scientist who was using the minds of the homeless who came into her facilities to power her army of machines. Knowing the truth, Al blows the lab up, ready to go after her for revenge. We then cut back to Batman, who had just finished patching himself up after his battle with Spawn. Having more of a bruised ego than anything, Batman was ready for round 2, where he encountered Margaret at the scene of the lab that Spawn had just destroyed. Not knowing this lady was a demented psychopath, Batman's lust for vengeance grew even darker than normal, where he promised that he would stop the hellish fiend once and for all. As we catch up with Spawn, we see that the man was not quite over that nerve gas Batman had doused him with before, as we still see him puking out his guts. Telling his homeless homies that Batman was an idiot and that he would totally mess him up in a rematch, he then goes to eat those words as we see the Dark Knight, armed with his robotic gauntlet from before, ready to dish out some good old-fashioned justice. Man, this panel is cool. Just look at the delts on this guy. Armed with his glove and some good old-fashioned prep time, Batman lays into Spawn, who is surprised at the might of this mere mortal. He slams Bruce into a wall, telling him he would tear him apart, only for Batman to retort with, "In your dreams," as he knees him right into the head. The pair then proceed to beat the literal snot out of each other until they are both panting, wheezing, and bleeding all over the ground, vowing to break the other in two. Boys, you know y'all want to kiss, just get on with it already. Before the kissing could commence, the men are attacked by Love's machines, who are there to clean up loose ends of her involvement in, being a supervillain. Batman, being severely weakened from the fight, is pinned down by the robots, who then proceed to stab him over and over again as Spawn listens to the man scream out in pain. Not about to let Batman die despite being a total jerk, Spawn uses his magic to blast the robots to bits. He then looks on at Bruce's bloody battered body and knows that there is no way he would survive getting to a hospital in time. He then uses his magic to enter Batman's mind while healing his body to show him the truth of what Margaret had done and that she needed to be stopped. Upon being healed, Bruce, still not too keen on working with this hellish killer, puts their differences aside as they head out in search of Margaret Love. We're then taken to the villain's yacht, where she had gathered a party of some of the most powerful people on Earth, whom she had drugged, and revealed her collection of nuclear warheads. She told the group that her end humanitarian goal to solve world issues would be to straight up just rid the world of people with nukes. Hey Margaret, the undo button is for Word documents and Photoshop, not human life, alright? Batman and Spawn then show up to the scene, where Spawn opens a telepathic link between the two as they utter complete mental smack talk to each other as they wreck waves of Love's robots. Getting a little carried away with the blasting, Spawn kicked up some nearby rubble that came crashing down upon her, impaling the poor woman to death. In classic villainess fashion, Love activated one of her nukes right before her death, launching the missile right into the Manhattan skies. Batman, watching in horror, then screamed at Spawn to do something. Bro, who are you yelling at? You're the one who can't do anything right now. All that smack talk and money getting you nowhere once the nukes are in question. Spawn then manages to use his power to teleport the two onto the nuke itself, where Batman uses his brilliant mechanical mind to disarm the missile, sending it plummeting into the nearby harbor. Afterwards, Batman tells Spawn that his methods and disregard for human life were absolutely appalling, and that he would eventually get the power to stop him. Knowing that they just saved the city, Spawn actually tries to be Batman's friend, asking for them to bury the hatchet, only for Batman to respond with, "Bury this," as he whips a batarang right into the dude's head. Seriously, why is Dark Knight Returns Batman such a jerk? Honestly, hopefully this dude stays in his dimension and keeps this attitude all to himself. And that is the full bloody battle of Batman vs. Spawn. This was an absolute relic of the 90s, and I am so glad I found this. Spawn and Batman are such cool characters, and getting to see them interact was quite the treasure. Given that we got a wild animated movie such as Batman Meets the Ninja Turtles, it would be absolutely awesome getting to see a crossover story like this in animation. These 90s crossover comics were absolutely insane, and I would love to get a modern take on them as well. What I would love more than anything though is to hear what you think. Did you know this about Batman Spawn? Was there something I missed? What other stories would you like to see us cover? Sound off in the comments. Also be sure to give this video a like if you enjoyed today's content, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell icon to be notified of all of our latest videos. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the music in this video, it was all made by my boy Ognihs. You can check out his Spotify in the link below. You can also check out our Patreon, also in the link below. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, you are awesome and loved. God bless, and I will see you in the next one.